Hi, this is Mike Fry from No Kill Learning. At many animal shelters, high-drive dogs like Gus here are considered real problems. But at No Kill Learning, we consider them opportunities for fun. Without a doubt, taking shelter dogs on bike outings to nearby bike paths or parks can be great times for volunteers and dogs alike. More importantly, biking can provide dogs exercise, mental stimulation, and more. But before we grab a dog and a bike, there are a few things we need to know. First, I don't encourage or even recommend biking with shelter dogs on traditional two-wheeled bikes. There are many reasons. Most importantly, two-wheeled bikes are not safe because they tip over too easily. Traditional bikes also make it difficult for the human to keep a watchful eye on their canine companions. But there are special bikes that address these concerns in some fun ways. Called a tadpole design, these bikes feature two wheels in the front and one in back. The third wheel on the bike makes it more difficult for the bike to tip over. The fact that the third wheel is in the front of the bike puts it in visual range of the dog that's running alongside it, making it easy for the dog to avoid the wheel while it's running. The other advantage of the tadpole design is that its low profile puts the human rider at about the same height as the dog, making it easy for the person to keep an eye on the pooch and ensure that they're accurately able to gauge the pace at which the canine is comfortable running. The low profile of the tadpole does provide a couple of disadvantages, however. Because they're so low to the ground, it's more difficult for other people to see them coming. A safety flag, therefore, is essential. Being so low to the ground also makes it difficult for some people to get in or out of the tadpole. Like other bikes, tadpoles are configured for different-sized people. Most importantly, people riding it should maintain some bend in the knee while pedaling, even when the pedal is fully extended. This prevents knee strain. Some tadpole bikes have adjustable seats to allow them to accommodate different-sized people. Shelter staff should be prepared to teach volunteers all the nuances of tadpole setup and adjustments, along with a detailed biking training class. Bikes should only be made available to volunteers who have completed this sort of training. Dogs should be introduced to biking by trained staff or experienced volunteers. Dogs available to go biking should have their kennel labeled clearly to indicate that they're ready for a bike ride. Tadpole bikes can be made available to volunteers simply by chaining them with a combination bike lock in a convenient location. Volunteers should be instructed to never share the combination of the bike lock with anybody. In the event that you need to change the combination, we recommend getting bike locks with adjustable combinations. Before taking a dog out for a bike ride, it's a good idea to let them run around in an outdoor play yard for some time to give them adequate time for potty breaks. No one likes to go running with a full bladder. The same is true for dogs. You may also want to give them several minutes of playtime in order to just burn off some of their excess energy from sitting in their kennels before going out with the bike. Another important thing to note is that you should only use traditional harnesses to restrain dogs while biking. Don't ever attach a dog to a bike using a collar, gentle leader, which by the way are not so gentle, or any other device. Make sure the harness fits and that it's not too tight or too loose. The best leash to use is a special bungee type leash available from our friends at Pets Life. The bungee leash ensures the dog will not receive any sudden sort of jolt or jerk while biking. While dogs are trained to heel on the left of a person, they should always be on the right side when biking. This keeps them safely out of traffic when biking on roads and away from people and other animals when biking on paths. Dogs that have been trained to heel on the left may tend to want to be on the left side of the bike, but they quickly learn to stay on the right side of the bike while remembering to heel on the left side when walking. Before heading off to your ultimate destination, it's a good idea to take a dog for some easy loops in a quiet, protected area. Quiet areas with no vehicle through traffic make great places to warm up your bike and your biking partner. Spend some time doing some slow, easy biking before heading out. Doing this will help you and your dog get into sync, so to speak. You'll be able to see how much enthusiasm the dog has for the experience. Additionally, they will usually begin to focus more and more of their attention on you as both of you begin to settle into the biking process. Whenever you're biking, always maintain safe distances between yourself and vehicles, people, or other animals. Initially, particularly with dogs that are new to biking, you'll want to hold the dog's harness with your right hand while steering the bike with the left. With dogs that are experienced bikers, you will eventually be able to let go of the harness. Dogs, however, that are very rambunctious or that are very excited about biking may require near constant holding. Within reason, allow the dog to set the pace at which you travel, but never let them run faster than you're comfortable moving. And never encourage a dog to run faster or farther than they choose to go on their own. The general idea is that you're going to set the direction by steering the bike, and the dog is going to set the pace. Often, after initial burst of energy, dogs will settle into a comfortable trotting pace that will be very easy to match with the tadpole. Ideally, the dog will not be pulling the bike along, but will be trotting comfortably alongside it. For some enthusiastic dogs, that's sometimes more easily said than accomplished. You can encourage a pulling dog to pull less by praising them every time they stop pulling. Special precautions need to be taken before initiating turns, but no turn should ever be taken suddenly. It's important to get a dog's attention before initiating a turn. This is especially important for right turns because the dog is on the right side of the bike and you don't want to turn unexpectedly into a dog or even into a dog's path. Before initiating a turn, slow the bike somewhat, then gently move the dog behind the front wheel and then say either right turn or left turn. Then gradually initiate the turn. Dogs quickly learn what these signals mean and what they need to do about them. However, it's important to note that most shelter dogs have little or no experience with bikes before coming to the shelter. Also be careful to not let dogs overexert themselves. Some dogs get so excited about biking that they don't know when to slow themselves down, so take periodic breaks and make sure they're not overdoing it. With some dogs, you may need to take active steps to slow them down. The ideal outdoor temperatures for biking range from 40 degrees to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Biking shouldn't be done at temperatures above 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Bring water with for you and the dog, and as always, be prepared to pick up any messes. Because the tadpole is low to the ground, is unlikely to tip over and should never be driven at high speeds, a helmet may not necessarily be required, but it's still highly recommended. Biking volunteers should be strongly encouraged to bring their own biking helmets. Done safely and responsibly, biking with shelter dogs can be a fun and rewarding way to enrich the lives of shelter dogs. When combined with regular leash walks and playtime with other dogs, biking can help make a dog's stay at a shelter interesting and stimulating. For help setting up a shelter biking dog program, feel free to contact me. My contact information is at the link. And happy biking!